Okay, now what I'm going to talk about now is the royalties from the French Revolution to about the age that Napoleon III's Second Empire of France ended. Now, the main reason I'm doing this because royalty, especially remembering the names and who married who and had what children, such as that, can be very confusing because of the repetition of the names. You have Napoleon the First, the Second, the Third, and maybe you don't even know who's Napoleon II, but I'm going to tell you in a moment. Now, we have, let's start out simply by Maria Antoinette. Maria Antoinette. I'm sorry, probably spelled it wrong. And Louis, King Louis the 16th. XVI. 16th. Okay. As you might remember from the revolution, that unfortunately for these two royals, they were guillotined. Now, they were tried as traitors and condemned to death on the guillotine. Mainly because Marie Antoinette, when she saw the peasants coming to Versailles is a palace outside of Paris, Versailles, on October in 1789. October 1789, the Women's March. Women peasants were coming to Versailles armed, and they managed to get inside the palace, and they forced the king and queen to move to Paris, to the Tuileries. Now, the palace doesn't exist anymore, it was destroyed. Well, I'm going to talk about that later. Yeah, so they forced them back. But before that, when Marie Antoinette saw these peasant women coming, she sent an envoy to King Leopold II. Okay, Leopold II was King of Austria. Yeah, Austria. Austrian King. Austrian King. Yeah. The main reason why she sent an envoy to this particular character because that he was her brother. Yes, he was her brother. They're related. She is an Austrian archduchess who married a French king. That guy over there, Louis the 16th. Yeah. What we have next is Leopold II. Their mom and dad, or parents, were King Francis the First, and their mother was Maria Theresa. And you could find out more about them in the Habsburg family of Austria. Yeah, they were a pretty powerful family in Austria, Holy Roman family. Now, this particular king, Leopold II, had a son. Actually, they had a son. That's Francis II. Francis II after his granddad, Francis I. Francis II mainly got his political education from his uncle, Joseph, King Joseph II. They're right over here. Joseph II. Okay, these three are related, like that. And afterwards, Francis married Maria of Spain, who then had a daughter as Maria Louis, who then married the Emperor Napoleon the Emperor. As you could remember, after the Republic failed, of course, after France was, the Directory were unpopular, and then Napoleon came to power. He crowned himself Emperor. Yeah, he crowned himself Emperor. Then, at first he married Josephine. Yeah, Napoleon. Maybe just draw here. Napoleon. second and third later. Second married Josephine. But unfortunately, their marriage was childless. So he dissolved his marriage with her. He dissolved it. Dissolved. Yeah. He dissolved it. Or in another way, he divorced her. Then he married this lady here, Maria Louise, and she bore him a son. Yes, the son is Napoleon II. But unfortunately, after Napoleon I was abdicated and exiled Napoleon II had to spend most of his life with his mother, Maria Louise, who, pardon me. Yeah, but unfortunately, before he could accomplish anything great, he died at the age of 21 by disease back then. Died at the age of 21, regrettably. Yeah. Okay. Napoleon III, in fact, is the son of Napoleon's first brother. Now, let's try here. Napoleon's first brother is Louis Bonaparte. Louis Bonaparte. That's his brother. I'm just gonna write brother. Okay. Brother of Napoleon I, who married. This is a surprising fact. Okay, Napoleon married Maria Theresa. Okay, this is where it gets complicated. Okay, this Maria Theresa is of Naples, that's a city, and Sicily. While this Maria Theresa is from Austria. I'm just gonna write another Austria here. Under it. Austria. Yes. Afterwards, Louis Napoleon and Maria Theresa, unfortunately, their marriage was an unhappy one. But they have 3 kids. Only 3 kids. 2 of whom are deceased, as in they never got to adulthood. But one of them survived. He's the youngest, and he's Napoleon. Napoleon the third. And what's really interesting is, excuse me again, Maria Theresa, that's her right there, Maria Theresa, is the daughter of Josephine. It's the daughter of Josephine. And Josephine is the wife of Napoleon I, but Napoleon I was the brother of Louis Bonaparte. You can see this going around in a circle, and it gets very complicated. So Napoleon I was technically a nephew and a grandson to Napoleon I, which is very confusing. Alright. Afterwards, this fellow here spent most of his childhood in Switzerland and Bavaria. And Bavaria is just a German state. Back then, Germany wasn't technically united. It was just a bunch of federations of states. One of these states was Bavaria, where Napoleon was raised. He was raised under the tutelage. Excuse me again, it's pretty hot here. Napoleon III. He was raised and taught and told by his mother and father that he must restore glory to the Napoleon family, which we'll see him doing later in the Franco-German War and the Revolution of December 2nd, 1851. Okay, thank you for listening.